My entitled husband caught me cheating with my ex and turned into a raging psycho. Then unalive himself rage driving. Now his entitled kids claim I unalived their father, snatched away all the inheritance I deserved, and got me kicked out of my own house. My ex dumped me too after my stepson contacted him. Help me get these evil kids to stop. I, too, deserve some happiness. Okay, I already know people are going to jump all over me, but I don't really care anymore. I need advice, legal if possible, and yeah, maybe moral too, but keep your pitchforks down if you can. I'm just trying to survive here. I 48F was married to my husband, Daniel 56M, for 12 years. He was a decent provider. We had a stable life, but our relationship was far from perfect. His 2 kids from his previous marriage, Mason 25M and Ellie 22F, never liked me. I don't even know why. Maybe it was because I wasn't their precious mother, or maybe because I didn't play the Stepford stepmom role. Whatever it was, they always treated me like I was an outsider in my own damn home. Daniel never really did anything about it either. He'd just say, "They'll come around." But they didn't. They got more distant, especially after they both moved out. I tried, at least in the beginning. But I gave up trying when I realized it was pointless. And honestly, they were rude as hell. Anyway, the point is we had a rocky family dynamic. But I did love Daniel in my own way. I just got bored, maybe. Lonely. He'd work late a lot, always stressed. We stopped talking about anything real. No affection, no intimacy for over a year. I felt invisible in my own marriage. So yeah, I reconnected with an ex, Eric 50M. We dated in my late 20s. He was sweet, successful, and charming in a way Daniel hadn't been in years. It started with just coffee. Then lunch. Then texting. Then it became physical. It was never supposed to be a thing, just a way to feel something again. But Daniel found out. I guess he was suspicious. He started checking my phone. He even had a tracker installed in my car, which I think is borderline psychotic. But that's besides the point. One day I came home, and he was just sitting there, dead silent. Then he snapped. He screamed at me. Called me every name in the book WSLT, dirty B, liar. He was shaking with rage. I tried to talk, but he wouldn't listen. He grabbed his keys, slammed the door, and sped off like a madman. I remember hearing the tires screech. I should have gone after him or called someone, but I didn't. I was angry too. 2 hours later, I got a call from the police. Single vehicle crash. He hit a tree at high speed. Died instantly. Toxicology showed alcohol in his system. He must have been drinking while driving. It was ruled accidental, but I know what everyone's thinking. His kids certainly made their opinion clear. They didn't even look me in the eye at the funeral. They just glared at me like I had killed their father myself. Not even a hug. Mason told me straight up. You broke him. He'd still be here if it weren't for you. See, Daniel apparently changed the deed on the house a few months before he died. I didn't even know until after the funeral. He put it in Mason and Ellie's names. Same with his savings accounts, his car, his insurance policy, everything. I was left with nothing. Nada. I'm not working right now. I've applied to jobs, but let's be honest, middle-aged women with criminal records don't exactly fly off the hiring shelves. Yes, I have a past. I made a stupid mistake 10 years ago involving a shady tax situation. It's on my record, and I've done my time. It wasn't some big con, just a dumb decision when I was desperate. Now the kids are trying to evict me. I got a notice in the mail from their lawyer. They want to sell the house and move on. I have nowhere to go. No savings left. Eric was my last lifeline, and he's gone. I've reached out to other friends and even a few relatives, but they're all keeping their distance, probably believing the worst of me thanks to these kids running their mouths. I'm not saying I was perfect, but I didn't cause his death. He chose to get in the car. He chose to drink. He chose to drive angry. I didn't force him to do that. I didn't ask him to blow up and go full meltdown. And I certainly didn't ask for my life to be ruined over one mistake. So here I am, living in a house I no longer legally own, broke, alone, and hated. And I want to know, do I have a right to contest the will? I was his wife. We were married. That has to mean something, right? He didn't even leave me a note or a dime. Just rage and ashes. I keep reading about elective shares and spousal inheritance rights. But I'm worried my record will be used against me, or the affair. I don't even know if he had a will, just that everything is legally in their names. If there's no will, don't I get something by default? I've been told by one lawyer I spoke to that I'm probably screwed. But I wanted a second opinion. I can't be the only woman who's been through something like this. People make mistakes. I'm just trying to survive now. Can I contest the estate or stay in the house at least? Or am I just completely out of options here? Comments. Comment 1. You're not going to like this, but I'm an estate attorney practicing in Arizona. You're screwed. If the house, bank accounts, and assets were all titled in his kids' names before his death, and there's no will leaving anything to you, then you're not entitled to squat. Spousal elective share laws exist, but they only apply to assets in the deceased spouse's name. You weren't in the will, and the assets weren't his anymore. Your marriage doesn't grant you magic rights to override legally executed documents. And let's talk about your criminal record, and the affair, both of which will absolutely tank your credibility if this gets near a courtroom. You come off like someone who sees people as assets, not human beings. That man died after finding out you betrayed him. You aren't the victim. You're just broke and bitter. Comment 2. Jesus Christ, lady. You had an affair, got caught. Your husband had an emotional breakdown and died. And your takeaway is, why am I not getting money? Are you even hearing yourself? He left you nothing because he knew what you were. His kids knew. His ex knew. Now your ex knows. Everyone has gone no contact with you, and somehow your conclusion is everyone else is wrong. You didn't just cheat. You let a man spiral to his death, and you've shown zero remorse. Not even a sentence about grief. Just money. You are a narcissist and a parasite, and the fact you're trying to contest his estate after all this. Shame on you. Comment 3. As a stepkid who watched my dad marry a woman just like you, this post made my blood boil. You took his love, security, and trust and tossed it out for an affair. Then had the audacity to act like he caused the fallout by reacting like a human being. He was humiliated, betrayed, and grieving the life he thought he had. And then he died. You didn't kill him with your hands, but emotionally. You might as well have. And now you want his kids to give you a house. After you spat on the memory of their father and played victim. They owe you nothing. You deserve nothing. You should be ashamed, but from your post, it's clear you're not even capable of that. Update. Well, I read the comments. Not like I had much choice. And, yeah, some of you were absolutely merciless. I expected judgment, sure, but I didn't expect that level of hate. It's like you all want me homeless and 6 feet under just for making a mistake. It was an affair, not a murder. And yet, you all talk like I ran him off the road myself. Still, I wanted to post an update because things have gotten worse, so much worse. And I need help. Real help. Because I'm about to lose everything. Let me start with the legal stuff. I consulted a second attorney. She didn't mince words either. Told me almost exactly what one of the Reddit lawyers said in the comments. Since everything Daniel had was retitled before his death into his kids' names, I don't have a claim under Arizona's community property or elective share laws. Apparently, Daniel planned all of this months before he even found out about the affair. So that means he was already preparing to cut me out. Maybe Mason and Ellie talked him into it. Maybe he was paranoid or something. I don't know. But the point is, legally, I don't exist anymore. The lawyer said it would cost me tens of thousands just to try to contest, with no guarantee of success. Money I obviously don't have. And the house. I got a formal eviction notice 2 days ago. Certified mail. They're giving me 30 days to vacate. 30 days until I'm out on the street. I tried calling Mason. Straight to voicemail. I tried Ellie, too. She picked up and hung up the moment she heard my voice. I even texted them both. Can we please talk like adults? This is my home too. No response. Just silence. You all act like I'm this evil mastermind who destroyed their family. But I was alone for years in that marriage. I didn't feel seen. I didn't feel loved. Daniel buried himself in work and parenting and left me behind. I made a mistake. Yes, but I was human. I still am. And now no one will even give me a chance to explain. The only person who was supporting me was my boyfriend. And even that feels like it's falling apart. Yes, I know how that sounds. Boyfriend, this soon after Daniel's death. But let's be real. Our marriage was already over before he died. We were sleeping in separate rooms. I was only staying because I had nowhere else to go. So when Eric came back into my life, it felt like hope. Like maybe I could start fresh with someone who actually wanted me. Except now Eric is pulling away too. He stopped answering calls regularly. He makes excuses not to come over. Last time I asked if he'd help me with legal costs. He gave me this look like I was already dead weight. And now I haven't heard from him in almost a week. I know he spoke to Mason. I don't know what was said. But whatever it was, it poisoned everything. So now I'm here, sitting in a house I'm about to lose, surrounded by empty wine bottles and unopened mail, and no one is on my side. I've tried to go back to work. I've applied to a few reception jobs, customer service, and even cleaning gigs. Nothing. Either they Google me and see the criminal record, or they just think I'm too old. I haven't had a proper job since Daniel said I could just take care of the house, and now that's being taken too. The pressure is eating me alive. I don't sleep. I don't eat. I stare at the door, waiting for the sheriff to show up with a final eviction notice. I have no idea what comes next. So I'm asking Reddit, maybe the same people who shredded me last time. What can I do? Not legally. I already know the law isn't on my side. I mean emotionally. How do I make Mason and Ellie see that I'm still a person? That I'm not the monster they think I am? That I lost someone too? I know I screwed up. But Daniel could have lived. He chose to drive drunk and angry. I didn't force his hand. His own kids ignored him when he was burning out at work. They took his money, sure. But they didn't take his calls and didn't invite him to birthdays or holidays unless he came alone. And now I'm the villain. I want to talk to them. I want to reason with them. Maybe write a letter. Show them I'm not trying to take everything, just something. A place to live. A few thousand to get back on my feet. I gave 12 years to this family. Doesn't that count for anything? Everyone's treating me like garbage. Even Eric. And I can't do this alone. I need something, some connection, some support, somebody to remind me I'm not totally alone. If any of you have been in my shoes, if you've ever made one bad decision and watched your whole world collapse because of it, please tell me how to survive this. Because I swear, if I lose this house, I don't know what happens next. Comments. Comment 1. You're not the victim. You're just broke now. I read your original post, and you haven't changed a single thing. No growth, no remorse, just more whining that people won't give you money or sympathy. Daniel is dead, and all you can talk about is how you lost everything. His kids owe you nothing. You weren't just an affair haver. You were the emotional wrecking ball in the last chapter of this man's life. You don't get to reason with people who watched you break their father down until he self-destructed. The law isn't on your side. Morality isn't either. You're just mad that you bet wrong and ran out of lifelines. Comment 2. Imagine watching your dad unravel after finding out his wife was screwing her ex, then getting a call that he's dead. Then imagine that same woman comes crawling back months later asking for a few thousand because she gave 12 years. You don't get to light someone on fire and ask their kids for warmth. You're not lonely. You're just left with yourself. And for someone like you, I bet that's terrifying. Comment 3. So let me get this straight. You cheated. Got caught. He died. His kids cut you off. Your ex dumped you. You're getting evicted. And your brilliant plan is to guilt trip the same kids who hate you into handing over money and letting you stay in their house. Lady, this isn't a Disney movie where the villain gets a redemption arc. You're not misunderstood. You're not being bullied. You played stupid games. You won a lonely, broke arse prize. Thank you for watching the video. If you are interested in listening to these kinds of stories, we've got more in store for you. Simply subscribe to our channel, hit the like button, and share it with your friends.